roots all the way to Thomasville. Their maiden names written on the land echo through the red clay hills, where the scent of longleaf floated pine reach up on past that Georgia line. Stroll through Tallahassee town or southern Appalachia bound. Take the local routes and journey down the roads we call our home. Take the local routes and journey down the roads we call our home.
Welcome to Local Roots. I'm Suzanne Smith with WFSU Public Media, and today I'm at Lake Alberta in Tallahassee on what feels like the perfect spring day. In fact, it's almost like a painting, which leads us to the first part of today's program. Artists for the last year have been dealing with a lot of challenges. Trying to figure out safe ways to share their artwork and their talent have required new levels of creativity and planning. We begin today with WFSU's Mike Plummer in Havana, Florida, where business and art have been mixing their mediums in hopes of creating a better, stronger community.
If you drive around, you'll see that there's an awful lot of small towns that have just gone by the wayside and died. Havana has not. You know, we have fought tooth and nail to be here, and that's with a passion. So when you come and walk the streets, you're going to meet the owners, and that owner is going to be the biggest chamber of commerce for Havana that you've ever seen. We love it here. We want you to see what we love here.
Like many small towns throughout the South, Havana, Florida is in transition. In today's digital online COVID world, it seems like small town America is always in transition. Terry Paul is co-owner of a shop called Wanderings and Poppy's Coffee Shop, and is president of the recently formed Havana Main Street. And her idea is to turn Havana into a destination by making it an experience.
We're like, okay, it's not just about the businesses downtown, it's about Havana itself flourishing. And so what Main Street is trying to do is work on beautification, historical preservation, not just feet on the street, but to kind of get it all going in the right direction. And for us, the furniture was good, but what else can we bring? What can you bring your downtown community into town to do? So one of the components that's been missing in Main Street is an artist component. And so we got a new executive director for Main Street about 8 months ago, and we had a long list of interviewees. And we chose Anne because of her ties with the art community.
The Anne she speaks of is Anne Kozaliski, Havana Main Street's executive director, and her plan is to grow an artist community. Her vision is called AHA.
AHA stands for Artists Helping Artists, and it literally means just that. We started back in 2018 when a friend of ours who had a gallery on St. George Island needed some help. It was after Hurricane Michael. Tourists weren't coming back to the island yet. So a friend of mine and I got on the phone, and within 2 hours we had 20 artists who had rallied around and brought artwork to my house that we then ferried down to the island and put on a holiday island festival. At the end of the day, we made enough money to help the gallery owner pay some bills, and realized we had a good time doing this and wanted to keep doing this. So early 2019, we then had a meeting, and on a Sunday afternoon had 48 people show up, and that was the beginning of AHA.
And so Anne is our connection with the art world. The AHA group that she has together is bringing people to town that are not necessarily artists, that have not necessarily been here before.
Joy Green is one of those artists, and she's one of AHA's biggest boosters.
Oh, I just think the whole idea from the title down, it's artists helping artists. And whenever you have a community in any business that really is looking out for and wanting their competitor to also be successful, I don't think you can miss, you know? It's not been in existence that long, but it's grown, and eventually will probably become more of a formalized group of some sort.
A generous property owner has made a downtown building and adjacent outdoor area available to AHA. They've been doing pop-up shows with groups of artists, mostly on a monthly basis. We were there for a Valentine's weekend show and spoke to some of the artists.
Just the way these folks work together, this is new really to me, but everybody's here to help one another and do what they can to support, but then help promote what artists are doing. And that's a talented group of people in there.
It's an opportunity that we have as artists and craftspeople to have our things seen. We're a pretty hungry group, and we love producing things, but we want our things seen, and we would like to have them purchased and to connect with people. We've been able to do that pretty well here.
Well, I think it's wonderful. I know that whenever I get out at an event like this, I know many of the artists, and just the community feeling of everybody getting out and seeing each other's work. I have to kind of strap my wallet down so that I don't start buying everybody else's stuff, but I do enjoy seeing the other people's work, and I think it's good because we all support each other in one way or another.
And I think it's the leadership that's making it happen, like with Ann and like with Joy, particularly with this group here. It looks like we're willing to show up, we're willing to participate, we're willing to give up our time and our energy to have our things displayed.
So the idea is to make art and art experiences available to the general public in a fun, casual setting. The artists build a community, and the public gets to experience a wide range of art.
We're actually working right now on budget and bylaws and things like that for the formation of a co-op. And we didn't want to just jump into that. We wanted to see if the market would bear the presence of this. And so with these pop-ups, with the classes that we're going to be offering, because there's an area in the back that is going to be perfect for anyone who wants to teach polymer clay, weaving, painting. We've got a class already scheduled to come up next month, I think it is. So with that, if the community supports it, and if we can get that information out and bring in an audience from around Havana, then definitely be more permanent.
I'm cheaper to rent studio space than Tallahassee is. You know, if I can pick up all those people from Railroad Square and put them down here, I am all over that, because that is the hook that I need. And so with that comes, not just the art gallery itself, but a plein air. I start bringing international, people in to look at the paintings that you have. This town is beautiful to paint. You can pick any corner, whether it's downtown, whether it's in the outlying areas. I got tobacco barns, I've got old buildings. I mean, again, we're historic, and you can paint that stuff all day long. People are gonna come and look at that. Well, that's a whole different crowd than what I've had before. Jewelry making, that's another thing. We can be known for jewelry making. You come out here, you don't want to buy online what everybody else has. They'll make a piece specially for you. All of that artist group is something that I have been missing, and I think it fits well with what we have going on so far.
In Havana, for WFSU Public Media, I'm Mike Plummer.
The next Artist Helping Artists pop-up is scheduled for Saturday, April 10th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more at HavanaMainStreet.com. A year ago, live music concerts were a big part of Tallahassee's nightlife. One local nonprofit, Cat Family Records, was part of that music scene. It was founded years ago to help local musicians record music and to book shows. With the pandemic, though, they had to refocus their mission. WFSU's Devin Bittner looks at Cat Family Records' history and their new future.
Tallahassee's two major universities and community college make the city synonymous not only with learning and research, but also a consistent cycle of young adults migrating to the city annually to pursue an education. Prior to COVID-19, The live music scene was a staple for college kids and graduate students in the capital city. For brothers Scott and Nick Bell, music quickly became an integral part of their lives in Tallahassee.
My brother and I, Nick, we had kind of talked about doing music for a long time. Nick has been playing drums and doing something musical for his entire life, basically. And I got a pretty late start in learning music. I was probably 27 when I first started playing guitar. But it's something that we had talked about a lot, right? We had this sort of mutual love for music, sort of the core of our kind of brotherly relationship, right? So I got an offer to come to FSU for grad school. Nick and I decided that we were just gonna make the move together, right? Didn't know a lot about the music scene, but we, from day one, just got involved.
You know, there was all these incredibly talented musicians and artists and people around Tallahassee, but nowhere was really pulling it all together.
We were in bands for like 4 or 5 years. Again, right when we moved, you know, we played local bars. We worked with some local studios. Throughout the years, though, we found it difficult, right, to produce, you know, to self-produce, to go to studios. We were in sort of a circle of people that used to play at the Warehouse a lot. They had this sort of legendary open mic. One day, I just hit a few people up. I was like, yo, it's like I have this idea for a record label. I have a name for it already, and I don't really know what a record label does, but I feel like we should try it. So that was kind of the start.
Born out of necessity, Cat Family Records was founded by Scott Bell in 2016. About 2.5 years later, it became a registered 501c3 nonprofit, and the Bells say their mission was clear: to break down the barriers separating musical artists from making a living off of their work. The nonprofit is a completely volunteer-led effort that has given musicians a platform and opportunities that Scott Bell says are otherwise hard to come by, and has even transformed one group in particular from promising solo artists into a full-fledged band. That group is called Bandana, aptly named for its frontwoman, Anna Griffith, and the band comprised of Tim Holder, Mason Palante, and Scott's brother, Nick.
Anna was at the Wilbury. I saw her perform. She was awesome. And then Anna approached me outside, introduced herself, said what's up. I was like, yo, I love your music. We just sort of hit it off. Yeah, and that's just how it started. I think we started off just recording Anna solo.
I was signed to Cat Family as a solo artist, and Nick and Tim were volunteering there at the time. And the way that I like to tell the story is that they asked if I wanted a band, and I said yes. And then they said, can we be your band? And I said yes.
Yeah, Tim and I were doing these Friday morning jazz sessions at the studio. And then, eventually we talked Anna into taking us, and now she can't get rid of us. And then we brought Mason. But I know that Mason and Anna knew each other, and Mason wanted to be in the band, so we were blessed to have him.
I think that first single, Fire Escape, that was recorded at our old studio space. They had some good success. I think that it got picked up by an officially curated Spotify playlist, and that's when it sort of exploded a little bit.
Bandana attribute the recognition they've received on their single, Fire Escape, to the help of a team of dedicated volunteers that work behind the scenes to record, book shows, and manage media for the musicians.
All of our success has been, at the hands of very generous volunteers. One of the things that we have to consistently deal with, right, is just this revolving door. We have a lot of people in and out, but we end up having to train different people every semester, and there are very few people that have been here the whole time. That I think we've also sort of learned how to spin into a strength, right? So, bringing in sort of new ideas, sort of figuring out how to cycle people in, and right, and again, sort of use that as a strength. Offering internship opportunities, for example, right? Bringing in more diverse opinions, all of those things that I think help strengthen an organization. Because of COVID, obviously things changed a lot for us. Most of our funding was coming from events. I think we were one of the first organizations to stop shows, and we'll certainly be one of the last organizations to start them back up again, right? So we do care deeply about the safety and well-being of everyone that's involved. The landscape has changed. Several venues have closed. Luckily we got a little more serious about writing some grants, and we've gotten some assistance, from Leon Cares and from COCA. We have had to kind of adjust, right? So one of the things we've always wanted to get involved in but never have, right, is our own video production arm, right? And we started experimenting with that because we were sort of locked inside for a while with COVID, kind of bored, right? And the first season of Cat Family TV was fun. A lot of musical success today, a lot of artist success is so interwoven with the success of video content. For us, it's sort of like the last frontier, right? And that is the thing that we're currently learning, getting better at, and I think we're going to start just incorporating different art forms, right? So we started off as a record label, but I think we've quickly grown into more of an art collective. That is what the future of Cat Family looks like.
As the label finds its footing in a post-COVID world, Cat Family Records will continue to provide a platform for Tallahassee's burgeoning artists with the can-do attitude they've used from the beginning.
I think a lot of people that get involved in art and music kind of approach it from this angle of this is way too much for me. This is gonna require a team. I can't do all this. And I think if you sort of flip that and just start from the assumption that you can do it, right, it makes it a lot easier to find people that I think kind of share that same outlook. And I think you start to see this sort of snowball effect and this sort of networking, this kind of collective action change just by changing the attitude around it.
For WFSU, I'm Devin Bittner.
You can find more information about Cat Family Records by visiting the website on your screen. Artists and art events that have had to cancel in the last year are starting to find new ways to share their creativity. Theater with a Mission is one of those groups. Saturday, March 27th, they'll be hosting their annual Loco for Love event virtually from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. Register online. The Word of South Literature and Music Festival returns April 10th and 11th to Cascades Park, but they also have limited attendance this year. Tickets are available starting March 19th and can be found at wordofsouthfestival.com. The annual Chain of Parks Art Festival weekend is April 17th and 18th, but this year it's a little different due to COVID safety protocols. First, the festival will be a limited ticketed event. It's still free, but they're asking for serious art patrons and enthusiasts to attend this year. There are also now activities starting April 9th that lead up to the festival. Learn more about tickets and safety protocols at chainofparks.org. Another activity that had to find a new plan due to COVID is the Sci Girls Summer Camps. Put on by WFSU and the Mag Lab, last year's camps had to be canceled due to the pandemic. This year, they're going virtual. The application deadline this year is April 8th. You can learn more about the camps on wfsu.org/localroots. If you're an artist or organization with an event coming up, be sure to add it to our WFSU community events calendar. We even have an option for virtual events. Okay, everybody, trivia time. Did you know that the soil that put the word red in Red Hills actually has another name? Or how about this one? Did you know that the soils in South Tallahassee actually were once sandy ocean bottom? Didn't know? Well, WFSU's Rob Diaz de Villegas joins with the Leon County Extension to take a look at the soils of Tallahassee.
When you think of an ecosystem as a whole, and this could be an ecosystem in the national forest, or this could be the ecosystem that makes up your lawn and garden, it includes the animals, it includes the plants, but something that we often don't think about is the soil. A lot of what's driving all the plant growth above the ground is soil microbes and other things going on down in the soil that make all of this possible above the soil. So the soil is really important, so take good care of your soil and don't call it dirt.
Is your soil sandy or clayey? We talk native North Florida soil and what you can do to keep it healthy.
So let's see what we get here. Today we're going to be talking about soil and its impacts on plant growth. And one of the big things you want to look at is what is the overall texture of your soil. So for those folks that live in the north part of Leon County, they know if they start digging, they hit what tends to be called clay a lot. Where if you're on the south side of Leon County, you're going to have a lot of sands.
The dividing line is an ancient coastline called the Cody Escarpment. Lake Munson and Munson Slough are just south of the scarp in what used to be sandy ocean bottom.
A little bit of a soil profile showing up, but I think a hole will be nice because it'll show it much cleaner. When we think about soil, again, it's this living thing. It's made up of either sand, silt, or clay. And that comes from the breakdown of rocks, right? So this sand that we have here at some point was part of rocks, maybe part of the Appalachian Mountains, that has made its way all the way down to Florida. So this time, Rob, we are at the Leon County Extension Office demonstration gardens, and we're going to look at the soil here. This site is located just on the edge of that scarp we talked about, the Cody Escarpment. So we have a little bit more clays in our soil here. Okay, I see we're getting down to some orange stuff down there. Even that orange, reddish soils up in the north part of Leon County, it's actually more sand. It's just a little bit of the clay with the iron oxides give it that red color of clay. Orangeburg is the main soil type of these kind of Tallahassee red hills, but it's Orangeburg fine sandy loam is the classification of that soil type. So you can tell you're dealing with clay because as you start to put it together in your fingers, you can almost make what soil scientists would call a ribbon. So it clumps together, just like think of like clay you're playing in an art class. But this ribbon, this is actually getting pretty long, so then it breaks. But if you take this material and you rub it, those fine clay particles will get, kind of stuck almost in your fingerprints, it feels like.
The size of the grain affects its soil structure.
Sand, silt, and clay, the difference there is the size. So sand grains, really, really big, silt somewhere in the middle, and clay would be these tiny, tiny little grains. So the more of these larger grains you have together, you have these big sand grains with lots of space in between because they can't pack together tightly.
Healthy soil is half space. So when you have healthy soil and you have a big rain, it absorbs a tremendous amount of it before it's saturated and water starts to run off.
You want water movement, you want air movement, so you don't want all sand, you don't want all clay. Ideally, you got something right there in the middle that makes water kind of cruise through slowly, but not too quickly that the plants can't pick any up. And also you want air movement moving throughout those grains because roots actually need oxygen.
The vast majority of soil is rock and space. But even though it's a small percentage of soil composition, organic matter matters to plants.
One thing homeowners can do is constantly be adding mulch, compost to develop that really nice topsoil layer, organic matter.
When you build the organic matter in the soil, there's a big difference in what happens with moisture, with rain. In soil that's low in organic matter, it can absorb only a little bit of water and most of it runs off, carrying some of the soil and nutrients with it. But when you build healthy soil, when you get that 3% organic matter going on, the microbes doing all that activity actually change the structure of the soil.
In our next segment, we talk about organic matter in your soil, and Herman shares how he creates compost for Turkey Hill Farm. For WFSU, I'm Rob Diaz de Villegas.
Tune into Local Roots on April 8th to see how Turkey Hill turns seafood waste into nutrient-rich soil. And check out the WFSU Ecology blog to dig deeper into the soils of our area. One of the fun things here at Lake Alberta are the purple martin gourds. WFSU's Rob Diaz de Villegas says that in another sign of spring, these birds have returned. Lake Alberta is one of the top birding spots in the area, but unfortunately, it collects a lot of trash. If you want to help out the wood storks or the ducks or any of the other wildlife here, there is a way you can help. WFSU's intern Chloe Thompson shows us how.
Lake Alberta is a pretty cool place, but as you can see, it's pretty full of trash, and we need to do something about it. Join us Saturday, March 27th at Lake Alberta at 10 a.m. with Appalachia Audubon for a lake-wide cleanup. Make sure to register to participate at the website on your screen.
Coming soon to WFSU TV is a new documentary on the PBS program American Masters. It's about innovative neurologist Oliver Sacks. Here's a preview.
Meet Oliver Sacks, the doctor, the writer, and the man.
Much of my life has been spent trying to imagine what it's like to be another human being.
His great gift was storytelling about the human condition in a medical context.
He would tell these stories so well that people who are left out are storied back into the world.
For his story, look for the acclaimed Rick Burns film, Oliver Sacks, His Own Life.
And we're beginning to get somewhere.
On American Masters.
WFSU, American Masters, and Midtown Reader invite you to join us for a special virtual book club we're doing featuring the work of author and neurologist Oliver Sacks. The book is called An Anthropologist on Mars, and the date will be March 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern. One of the best parts about it is we are giving away a limited number of these books for free. All you have to do is register now for the virtual event, and you can then pick up your book at Midtown Reader. Remember, supplies are limited. More information can be found at the website on your screen. And join us for our next Local Roots on Thursday, April 8th at 8 p.m., when we'll be talking with doctors and researchers from the FSU College of Medicine and Capital Regional Medical Center about their own work, plus the insight and influence of Oliver Sacks on their profession. Then tune to WFSU on Friday, April 9th at 10 p.m. Eastern for American Masters and see the documentary about Oliver Sacks. That's it for this episode of Local Roots. I'm Suzanne Smith at Lake Alberta in Tallahassee. You can see all these stories plus more on our website, wfsu.org/localroots. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And while you're online, go ahead and sign up for WFSU's Community Calendar newsletter. Delivered weekly to your email, it's a great way to stay on top of events happening locally and virtually. Thanks for watching, everyone. For everyone at WFSU Public Media, have a great day.
Magnolia trees greet the southern breeze in the land where rivers wind. Seeds that spring up from the past leave us treasures yet to find. Where our children play along the land our fathers build with honest hands. Take a moment now and look around the paradise we have found. Take the local roots and journey down the roads we call